we decided to try in session 2 to specifically address the helpers that are here with me to pinpoint and focus in on the obvious holes or gaps in the big picture by asking questions. And today we want to welcome Nora and Alex. They're going to serve in that capacity. And why don't we just get started? So Nora, why don't you give us the first question that we put on our list?
Okay. Would you like to discuss the difference between the soul and the mind and the vehicle?
Okay, that's a big one. I don't know where we'll get, if we'll get past that one. The soul, the mind, the vehicle. Well, just even though we've discussed it a little bit before, we use the reference to this body that we're wearing, this flesh and bones. We use the term vehicle because it helps us separate from the bodies. It helps to get it out of identifying with it, and where we get into trouble is when we identify and call this me, because this is certainly not me. If the soul has awakened, this is just a suit of clothes that I'm wearing, and at times it can be an encumbrance for me. It can be something that I don't want to identify with. So it has its own desires. It's kind of like a living computer that doesn't ever quite shut down. Even when it's in a sleep state, it doesn't quite shut down. And it has desires that manifest in ways of wanting certain foods or wanting certain experiences or certain habits that it has been subjected to. It wants to do repeat performances in those habits. So we'll use the term vehicle when we speak of the body that we're wearing. Now, the soul. What is the soul? That's a good one. We can think of the soul as a pillowcase or a container, even though it's an invisible container. So it's like a pillowcase or a container for the mind. So if we're talking about vehicle, soul, and mind, then flesh body is just suit of clothes, vehicle.
Where does this information come from?
I'm quite capable of giving you misinformation. I am responsible for asking each little thing all day long, all night long. Now that's good. It helps develop my habit of better asking, because I'm sure that you think, well, I've always known about asking. Asking you shall receive.
But how often do you ask?
Now, I'm not saying before you put the first spoon of your bowl of cereal in your mouth, you have to say, older member, would you have me put my first spoon of my cereal in my mouth? And then, would you have me put my second spoon of my cereal in my mouth? No, that's ridiculous. That's carrying it to an extreme.
I don't feel that it is an extreme to ask my older member. What do you think about this kind of cereal for this vehicle at this fuel stop? Does that seem okay? If it's something you wouldn't approve of, I don't want to put it in this vehicle. So if it is not proper, if you do not approve of it, I want to know about it. Alex, I think you're the next one on our question list. What is your question?
Well, did you want to start off talking about two containers and the Trinity?
Okay, two containers and the Trinity. That sounds like a strange combination, doesn't it? It's a good working hypothesis to consider the vehicle a container for the soul and the soul a container for the mind. We don't listen to the impulses of the vehicle.
I can recover my virginity. I can become a virgin. In a sense, someone who has never, if you really think of the soul's existence, who has never participated in that, then they don't even know what there is to overcome about it.
This is News 5 at 5 o'clock.